Welcome back. Filipinos have a very strong sense of family, but difficult living conditions have also forced some children to grow up without a home. For 26 years now, Norfil Foundation has been helping neglected, abandoned, and abused children by providing them with an alternative, nurturing environment. Here with us to talk about these efforts is Tere Nuki, Executive Director of Norfil Foundation Incorporated. Good morning, Ma'am Tere.
Good morning, Paolo.
I was reading a few of the details of this program, this project. It's such a wow! It's such a great project that you guys do. It's such a noble work. I mean, let's talk about Norfil. Where did this all begin?
Yeah, actually, Norfil began with the efforts of a Norwegian woman whose family stayed here for 5 years, and they helped children in orphanages. And eventually, they adopted 2 Filipino children. And they met this Filipino social worker, Beth Pangan, who used to work with the Department of Social Worker and Development. So the two of them helped children in orphanages. Later, they decided to help communities to prevent children from being separated from their families. Later, they decided to put up Norfil Foundation. And one of the programs they thought of to help these children who are in orphanages, children who are in the streets, abandoned and neglected children, is to put up a foster care program to look for families who are willing, interested, and well motivated to take in these children into their homes and treat them as members of their families, even on a temporary basis.
See, that's the interesting thing about this particular program is, I mean, you're talking about children who already may be in orphanages. I mean, aside from children who are obviously neglected in the streets, you're also talking about children who are already in orphanages awaiting perhaps a permanent home. But this program sort of provides them a further temporary nurturing environment by providing or by opening the doors of homes of families who are willing to take in these children and share a nurturing environment and basically love for these kids, even for just a short while until they find permanent adoptive parents. Is the program, how wide does the program reach? How many people are involved? How many homes have been open to children like these?
Well, right now we have a pool of 80 licensed foster families. They are here in Metro Manila, in the province of Rizal, and some are in Cebu. Like last year, we were able to serve 108 children through these foster homes. And these children stayed, well, for an average of about 6 to 8 months with these families. And eventually, some of their biological families were able to resolve their problems. Some we were able to reunite with their birth families, while some went into adoption.
It's interesting to note that it's a temporary arrangement. You know, you take in these children, but I'm sure some of these families, and based on some of the background stories that I've read, you do get very attached. It must be also difficult. It must be heartbreaking as well to part ways with a child who you've somehow bonded with and provided love and caring and nurturing for. It must be hard to say goodbye. Yes,
well, that's the most difficult part of fostering. When the time comes that the child will be taken away from you, since especially if it's a young child, of course, the child would be bonded with the family. And then here comes the time when we'll say, well, we'll be returning the child to his parents, or the adoptive parents are here now. However, I think what motivates families, because like we have some foster families who have cared for 20 or more than 20 children, is the thought that if they won't take care of these children, what would happen to these children? Like what we do with our foster families, well, we give them opportunities to see children in orphanages. So they see and they'll realize, oh, it would really make a lot of difference if we take care of these children. So in spite of the pain, and when the child gets adopted and we receive reports on these children and photographs, what we do naman, we give them copies of the pictures. So they know, they also follow the progress of the child. And they're happy to hear that the child is doing well. So in that sense, well, they continue to foster, although it's really very difficult. Like we had one family before. I remember when we got the baby from them, because the baby would be adopted, like the foster father was hitting the wall of our office because of the pain of getting the baby.
Well, the interesting thing for me to note is while there is a lot of this separation, the pain of separation and that sort of thing, a lot of them do seem to understand that it is a temporary arrangement and find that the best way really to ease the pain is to open their doors yet again to another child, maybe.
Yes, and also we hold sessions from time to time on how should they handle this separation.
Right. Well, I need to ask though, I mean, if they are quite as attached as if they do get quite as attached as they do to some of the children, and they were willing to take in and further down the road open their doors yet again to another child, what's to stop them from making it a permanent arrangement? I'm sure have there been cases where that has happened?
Yes, we have had cases wherein the foster family eventually decided to foster the child, to adopt the child. But then when they decide to adopt the child, they have to apply as an adoptive family. But we have quite a number of foster families who belong to the low income group. Well, they have the motivation, the interest, the love, the parenting capability. However, financially, they're not in a position to really provide the needs of the child on a long-term basis.
Right. Well, that's another interesting fact, that not all the foster homes who take in these children come from affluent segments of society. I mean, we're talking about families who may have very limited resources, like you said, but yet they feel like they have it in them to stretch their spirit, to stretch the resources and find space and find enough love for these children. How is one chosen, or how does one become qualified to become a foster family or a foster home for these children?
Yes, actually, our government sets requirements, sets policies on this, and then we have social workers. Like, if a family is interested, we can conduct a foster care forum to inform them about what foster care is all about, and then my social worker will visit the family, interview the whole family, inform them more about foster care, ask them about their family background, like if they have children, how do they discipline their own children? Because we have to be sure that this child will not be neglected, will not be abused, will not be maltreated. So we have questions to really find out all about this, about the families. And then, as I said, we give them some trainings too about parenting. Although almost all of them have their own children, some of them have children who are now older. So it's like reminding them how to take care of young children, how to deal with a child who is not your own, how to handle separation, and things like those.
Okay, so there are some little bits of hard criteria as well. I mean, a foster parent has to be at least 25 years old, caring, of good moral character, and like you said, they really must pass some sort of a interview process or a selection process where you do make sure that they are qualified. And on the other end, I mean, we're talking about more figures here, where we have something like 11,000 Filipino children living in institutions awaiting permanent adoptive homes, and these children, some of them find their way into these great homes where they're cared for and nurtured. But how is, amongst all these children, how are they selected also? How do you match children to foster families? Surely there's more children than there are foster families willing to take non-permanent kids in. How do you choose which child goes to where?
Well, actually, it is the child caring agency or the orphanage who decides who among their children, is the priority, because the child needs one-to-one care.
Okay.
Well, we know that in child caring agencies, much as they want to simulate a wholesome family environment, it's different. So a child who has some developmental delays, like a child who has speech delay, well, would need more stimulation, more one-to-one caring. So the social workers of that agency or orphanage then decides, I will refer this child to a foster home. So the child can get more stimulation, one-on-one caring, things like those.
So I think it goes without saying that the environment in a foster home is certainly even very modest homes and homes of people who may not have the affluence of other people, other families. It certainly would still be a much more positive environment than an institution, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a lot. Well, I think it's normal for a child to grow up in a family, right? And it's in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, of which the Philippines is a state party. It's the right of the child to grow up in a wholesome family.
Absolutely. I mean, you might have the biggest mansion in the world, but if you don't have family around you, it doesn't mean anything. How can people get involved? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people there who want to share their homes, who want to open their homes and their hearts to these children. How can people be involved?
Well, they can contact us. Actually, just recently we came up with this book. I just want to show this book.
Let's talk about that.
Well, it's a book, the title of which is The Blueprints of Family Love, a collection of foster care stories. It has 10 stories on foster care for people to know more about foster care. What does it involve? What are the joys and the challenges of becoming a foster families? So I want our kababayan, perhaps they might be interested to see this book and learn more about it and contact us.
Where is it available? How can people get a copy of the book?
Actually, this is just available at Norfil.
So they can drop by and visit
the office? They can drop by, call us, email us.
I'm sure we'll be flashing the details on screen for people who might be interested to get in touch. I mean, obviously the organization is there, and there is a great need for more people to open their homes and to open their hearts to these children. And
that's true, because we don't only get the children from orphanages. We also get referrals like from hospitals. Like one government hospital would call us, we have 5 abandoned babies here. Can you take them? And we'll say, oh, we're sorry, but we only have 1 available foster home at the moment. So we really need more foster homes. And in addition to walk-in clients, like mothers, grandmothers, mothers who were abandoned by their husbands and who cannot take care of their children coming to us. So we really have to increase our number of foster homes. So we'll have available foster homes anytime.
Well, I mean, obviously Norfil is really about the foster home and that type of environment, but I'm sure for people who might want to be involved but may not be able to offer their homes, there should be other ways that they can be involved. What are some of those ways?
Like we need volunteers, medical volunteers, like we're to bring these children when they get sick. We need donations of medicines. We need donations of child caring supplies like milk, toiletries, diapers, because like families who don't really have the financial means, Norfil provides all the child caring supplies. And of course, cash donations would be highly appreciated, because we provide these families with some financial subsidy to help them, like increase in their water bill, increase in their electric bill because of the presence of an additional child.
Okay, so doing good will also do good for you as well.
Oh, yes.
Well, and you guys are certainly doing good. We salute the work that you're doing, Ma'am Tere. Please continue with that. I'm sure people will be interested to support the project, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Ma'am Tere Nuki, Executive Director of Norfil Foundation Incorporated.
Thank you.